drink company.
No! God, please, no! No! No!
Well, the walking lawsuit himself is in trouble. Hey, how's it going, YouTube? It's your own boy Lil. Appreciate you for checking in. And right now we're about to check out a video from the homies Red Alert on Logan Paul's $1 billion Prime downfall, which we all know this man cannot stay out of problems. It's like the case that needs to be studied. Like I've never seen anybody in so much trouble all the time. But we're about to go ahead and see what they got going on. Like, share, and subscribe if you haven't already. And we're about to get in, see what the homies got to say.
Logan Paul and KSI built a $1 billion empire selling colored water to teenagers, and now it's collapsing faster than Logan Paul's credibility after the forest incident. But here's the twist nobody saw coming. Prime didn't die because of lawsuits, health scares, or even caffeine controversy. It died because two YouTubers thought they could out-hype the laws of business itself. Now, Prime was supposed to be the Gatorade killer, the drink that would prove
I actually low-key, like, after a minute, thought it was going to be. As y'all can see, this was not planned. But I got my Gatorade right now. 10 times, 100 times better than Prime. But I kind of was a little worried. I was like, Gatorade, y'all got some real competition until...
prove influencers could dominate any industry they touched. Instead, it became proof that hype without substance is just expensive disappointment in a fluorescent bottle. And the most satisfying part, the collapse was so predictable that even a middle schooler with a business textbook could have seen it coming. But first, let's rewind to 2022, when Logan and KSI were riding high on manufactured drama and thought they had cracked the code to printing money. These two had built careers on controversy, fake beef, and getting teenagers to fight over literally anything with their faces on it. So naturally they looked at the beverage industry, you know, that little market dominated by companies with decades of experience and billion-dollar research budgets, and said, yeah, we can do better.
I thought that part was always the craziest thing of, like, you got two goofballs. Absolute goofballs. And I'm not just saying that because they're streamers. There's a lot of intelligent streamers out there. But these two particularly, the biggest goofballs, and now they're like, we're going to get into hydration. No, like we've been studying for like 6 months. We think we cracked the code.
The audacity was breathtaking. Gatorade was built by scientists who understood electrolytes and athletic performance. Red Bull created an entire category and spent years perfecting their formula and brand. Meanwhile, Prime was essentially a repackaged drink slapped with Logan and KSI's faces, marketed like it was the second coming of hydration itself. Turns out, they weren't selling a better product. They were selling membership to their fan club, one overpriced sip at a time. And initially, it worked exactly how they planned. Those neon bottles weren't designed for athletes or people who actually needed hydration. They were designed to be Instagram props, TikTok accessories, and playground flex.
I remember at one point, they were, I think kids were like buying them and then reselling them at school. And it's like, what value do you think that these have? Even in the long run. But I mean, you know, they're kids, so it's like forgivable. But I saw some of y'all adults out there collecting them too. Over here playing.
The packaging screamed, "Look at me," louder than Logan Paul at a press conference. Kids weren't buying Prime because it tastes good or worked better than Gatorade. They were buying it because Logan and KSI told them it was cool. And teenagers will literally fight over anything if you market it right. The artificial scarcity was both pure genius and pure manipulation. Limited drops that sold out in minutes, strategic restocks timed with their content, and exclusive flavors that made kids feel special for drinking hype juice. So essentially they turned hydration into hype beast culture, and parents were driving across town.
Y'all might not remember, but Nelly back in the day used to have this drink called Pimp Juice that he was trying to make the new Red Bull. And I don't know why. Him saying hype juice just reminded me of that. Look that up. That was a real thing.
Just to surprise their kids with a single bottle.
Actually,
at a stage.
That's why then in the movie Tropic Thunder, the young homie, the rapper, who was an actor now, that's why in that movie they had booty sweat. Just for y'all kids who didn't know, that was because Nelly had pimp juice. Pimp juice.
Resellers were even flipping these things for $50 each. $50 for just pure disappointment. But hey, here's
Yep.
where the story gets interesting.
$50
And by
though.
interesting, I mean absolutely predictable. Because while Logan and KSI were busy counting their money and patting themselves on the back for disrupting the beverage industry, they made every classic mistake that kills overhyped brands. Their first mistake was that they thought celebrity could replace quality indefinitely. Early reviews from people who weren't diehard fans were brutal. Cotton candy cough syrup was one of the nicer descriptions. Splendor water with commitment issues was another personal favorite. So when your product tastes like regret mixed with artificial flavoring, no amount of influencer marketing can save you long term. Now their second mistake was that they got greedy and dangerous. That's when Prime Energy enters the mix. Same branding, but now loaded with 200 milligrams of caffeine. That's 2 Red Bulls worth of stimulants marketed to the same kids who were already obsessed with the regular version. Same influencers, same marketing.
See, I didn't know that. That's wild. I knew they had a lot of caffeine, but I didn't know it was like 2 Red Bulls worth in a can literally being sold to the kids. Because, no adults are over there like, ooh, what's Logan Paul and KSI on? Like, damn, man.
But now you're essentially giving
that's
teenagers
gross.
a legal speedball and hoping nobody notices. Although schools didn't just notice, they banned it outright. Parents were furious, health experts were sounding alarms, and Logan Paul was forced to go on his podcast pleading it's for adults, while his brand was literally designed to appeal to children. The cognitive dissonance was so strong you could power a small city with it. But lastly, their third mistake was violating the fundamental law of business sustainability. You can't build a lasting brand on borrowed credibility and manufactured urgency. Prime never created its own category. It tried to muscle into one already owned by giants who had spent decades building unshakable positions. They were David fighting Goliath, except David forgot to bring a slingshot and just showed up with a really loud megaphone. And so the lawsuits started piling up like Logan's bad decisions. Class action suits alleging dangerous PFAS chemicals.
Now, I heard that they're like a campaign they had is like, oh yeah, Gatorade and all the Powerade and all these other, electrolyte drinks have so high sodium and we don't have any in our drinks, or like have such a, small amount. And all the leading experts are like, the thing that you sweat out as an athlete is all the electrolyte you're losing is sodium. So you giving somebody all this potassium and you have more electrolytes, less sodium, you're giving them nothing back. So this is a nothing drink. And now we're learning about all these chemicals and things. I'm like, bro, what?
Those
Y'all
lovely
had it. Y'all had the bag. The $1 billion bag.
forever chemicals that stick around longer than Logan's apologies. Let's also not forget their deceptive advertising claims, because apparently calling something zero toxin hydration while it's loaded with questionable ingredients is frowned upon by lawyers. And the most concerning case is the lawsuit on behalf of a 14-year-old who ended up in urgent care with heart palpitations after downing 2 cans of Prime Energy. But the real kill shot came from Refresco, their bottling partner.
I mean, on that, a 14-year-old kid, where was his parents? Like, did they buy that? Not saying they did, and not saying it's justified, but it's like, why did this kid have access to 2 energy drinks to just back to back?
These guys had invested millions retrofitting an entire facility just for Prime's custom bottles, betting big because Logan and KSI promised massive orders. Then reality hit. Sales stalled, and suddenly Prime couldn't pay for the enormous volumes they had committed to. Refresco came collecting $68 million, and leaked emails showed Logan frantically talking about pivoting to international markets before we're cooked in the US. Prime's panic was real, and it was beautiful to watch. The same investors who had been flying in for meetings in 2022 were suddenly unavailable when the founders called. The dream was crumbling, and everyone could see it except Logan and KSI, who were still posting about their revolutionary drink while their empire burned around them. Because numbers don't lie, even when Logan Paul...
I heard they even tried to sue Messi, the soccer player, football player. He because like the bottle was similar, and tried to say because we use 10% coconut water in it and they're using it, they copied us. And it's like, people have used coconut water in hydration drinks. What aren't you getting? But they tried to sue bro and the company that's backing him. I'm like, dude, you're not going to distract from this issue.
Appalled us. UK sales dropped 70% in 2024, profits collapsed by over 90%, and some retail chains reported a staggering 92% drop in weekly unit sales. Those Target 12 packs that once retailed for $25 were marked down to $9 and still collecting dust. The chaos of sold out aisles had been replaced by the silence of the clearance rack. Meanwhile, actual beverage companies like Monster and Celsius were quietly scooping up the displaced Gen Z shoppers who
What about for the kids and all these like grown adults that are over there with these? They paid $50 for this can or this bottle that they thought was going to be the future. Like these people were like, nah, this is my future investment. I'm gonna give this to my kids one day and they're gonna keep it like an heirloom. Like, they sell this at the dollar store now, both of them, the energy drinks and the hydration drink, which I'm like, all the flavors. So it's not just one wasn't selling.
realized they could get
Damn.
better drinks for less money without supporting Logan Paul's ego. Gatorade didn't even acknowledge Prime's existence during its rise or fall. When you own a category, you don't need to respond to pretenders because time eliminates them for you. Senator Chuck Schumer perfectly summarized the problem when he wrote to the FDA. These
What did he
cans
say?
look like Gatorade, but hit like a double espresso. The brand was being treated with the same caution of alcohol or tobacco, with cashiers carding anyone who looked under 25. Prime had gone
What?
from cultural phenomenon to public health concern in record time.
Wait, 25? Is that true, y'all? Y'all gonna have to let me know. 25? So you could have been buying alcohol for 4 years and it's just now that just seems like a crazy number to me.
The most damning evidence wasn't in the courtrooms or sales reports, it was on social media. The same TikTokers who had once fought over Prime were posting videos of bottles collecting dust in their fridges. Amazon reviews for the grape flavor sat at a dismal 2.7 stars, with titles
Nobody
like
likes
Chemical
grape flavor.
Aftertaste and Existential Dread. The internet had moved on, and Prime was left behind like a bad trend from Twitter.
Hold on, I love how they keep on showing the one with the prime hydration in the glass container. And do y'all remember, like, oh, I'm gonna let bro finish. I'm gonna let bro
2022.
finish.
But what actually killed Prime wasn't the lawsuits or the bad press. Those were just symptoms. The disease was a lethal combination of arrogance, artificial flavoring, and the delusion that influence equals expertise. Logan and KSI thought they could out-hype the fundamentals of business, but you can't build a lasting brand on borrowed credibility and manufactured moments. They promised elite hydration, but
I think bro was just getting ready to wrap it up, but this is my show, so I just want to, say a few things at the end. Do y'all, okay, now I'm gonna say, do y'all remember like one of their ways to promote this a few years back? I can't even remember the year, but they like broke into the Gatorade facility and started giving like blank primes to people and just to do like taste tests, and some of them were like, oh, that's pretty good. And it's like, okay, you did all that to now be in lawsuits after lawsuits. He had that whole thing with CoffeeZilla was another one he tried to do a lawsuit, and it's like, how am I defaming you? Prove what I'm saying isn't true, and he couldn't do that. It's wild, man. These boys are wild. Literally had the bag, just had to kind of, you know, shut the F up and just kind of let things go and fix the things that needed to be fixed. I don't know, man. I'm not in the manufacturing business. But as always, let me know what you guys think in the comments. Like, share, and subscribe if you're feeling it. And as always, I know that y'all could have been anywhere in the world, anywhere on the internet, but instead you came to kick it with your homeboy Lil. Preach, logging out.